Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly. Jacques. Jacques. What's up, folks? What's good, ladies and gentlemen? How was it? Morning. Hope everybody's doing good. Jacques, you know what we got to talk about, bro. So, for those tuning in to the show today, we're going to talk about the coordinators. So the Tennessee Titans over the past few days have hired their two coordinators, offensive and defensive coordinators, and they hired them from within. The offensive coordinator will be Todd Downing, who has been the tight end coach for a few years for the Tennessee Titans, and as well the outside linebacker coach, Shane Bowen, who was an interim D coordinator this past year, what we just found out a few weeks ago, is now hired in as the defensive coordinator. So, Jacques.
Yes, sir.
Talk to me, brother. How you feel about it, sir?
On the offensive side of the ball with Todd, I'm okay with it because it's continuity. And you're not getting a real big change, because if you bring in somebody new, a fresh offensive coordinator, he's going to want to implement his playbook. He's going to want to implement his style. He might change the offense where it's more passing versus running. With Todd, he already knows, hey, we know how things are done here in Tennessee. We know we run the ball first, pass second, right? Hopefully he gets the ball out and he passes the ball downfield a lot more than Arthur Smith did, which I would like to see that, but we'll get into that to another show. Sometimes it's a personnel issue. But I'm okay with that side of the ball. We got to just wait and see. And we know this worked out with Arthur Smith. Now, I'm not saying he's Arthur Smith because he's had his stint with the Raiders. He's been with Minnesota. So he has a resume on him. But we'll definitely see how, if we continue the progression. Luckily, he doesn't have too much turnover on offense where it's not a big drastic change. So you know you still got Tannehill, you still got Derrick Henry, you still got A.J. Brown. You still know the tight ends because you coached them. So it's still a continuity there. Defensively is what I'm worried about. I am really, I'm really worried. And I said this, and I called it. I said, don't be surprised if Shane is the defensive coordinator. And it happened. Like I said, Vrabel, first of all, the Titans like to promote from within. Vrabel likes that continuity. He doesn't like change. And you can tell he doesn't like change. He can't stand change, right? So with him, he's like, well, no, we're not going to bring nothing. And I think I read something where Vrabel told John to do what he do. I don't know. I got to go back and look at that. I got to see if that's legit or not. But this is what we're rocking with. And we know the defense kind of picked up a little bit in the latter part of the season, but I'm not going to put any stock in that, right? I'm not going to just get excited about it, because we know we're going into a year where we should have got a name. We should have got a named player, because what happens now is you don't know what you're going to get in the draft. The draft is so uncertain. We don't have a lot of money to spend in free agency. So you're not giving Shane really that much to work with. We're going to have to hit on somebody in the draft on the defensive line, and we know we don't have a pass rusher. So, and right now, man, I don't like the pickup, dog. How do you feel? How you feeling, Hope?
Well, I said a few shows ago that I felt that the offensive coordinator would come from the inside of the organization, and that was right with Todd Downing. Now, Todd has been an offensive coordinator in his past. He was the offensive coordinator for the Oakland Raiders back in 2017, okay? Their offense was so-so, okay? Kind of middle of the road, not really. So, you know, he's had some experience. Even though he only did it for 1 year, he has had some experience. And sometimes, you know, once you have that spot and maybe not as successful, you take a few years, you learn, get better. You learn from Arthur Smith, you learn from Mike Vrabel, and then, you know, it's your time again, right? That happens in life. And so he's been with the Titans since 2019. And he's been around successful coaches in the offense over the past 2 seasons. The Tennessee Titans offense is one of the best offenses in the league last year, top 5 every game, right? Running the ball, throwing the ball, just an overall combination of things. And the one thing I like about Todd Downing is the fact that his tight end group, which we graded as a B last year, was pretty good. You know, Anthony Firkser, like who's Firkser, right? Firkser's out there making plays like he's Brent Jones. Jonnu Smith. You know, he had it where Jonnu Smith didn't complain at all about not getting a lot of catches this year because, you know, Jonnu had to adjust his game to block more, right? And so he got very good production out of all of his tight ends. Michael Pruitt, you name it. Anyone that came through played pretty well for the tight end group. So I feel like just like, you know, Arthur Smith had to do before he became an offensive coordinator, you know, building that relationship. And what I like about Todd Downing is players like Derrick Henry, as soon as he got hired, was happy to see this. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Tannehill was happy. Like, they said it immediately. So that makes me feel comforting upon him being our offensive coordinator. Now, it remains to be seen what type of playmaking he'll do, you know, given that he's, you know, still young in his career in this regard. He's still young. He's a young guy at that, too. He's only 40 years old. You know, he's going to make mistakes. And he's not going to, you know, Arthur Smith had been around the offense for 10 years, okay? And, you know, Downing's been just since 2019. So he's going to have some bumps and bruises along the way, and I'll give him that. You know, it'll take time. But I kind of anticipated that. You know, I would still prefer to have gotten to somebody else on the offense that has had a little bit more experience to take our offense to that next level, right? You know, but you know, we'll see. I think, if anything, I think what Mike Vrabel is saying with John Robinson, they got to get better personnel, even on the offense, and then maybe to help them to get to that next level. But we'll see. I'm not so down about Todd Downing. Now, the defensive side of the ball, I'm going to say this. I really hope he does well. So I'm going to preface by saying that first. I don't want him to do bad, right? But, you know, the definition of insanity, according to Albert Einstein, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Okay? The Titans ranked 28th in the league in defense last year. 28th in the league. He was an interim defensive coordinator. And even if he didn't have the role, he was in that defense. And what happened? We stunk. We graded our defense a D- or something in our last grade report, right? And he was a part of that. So if anything, I would have liked to look in a different direction. And there are defensive guys out there, defensive assistants that are ready to be defensive coordinators that I didn't think even had a chance to interview. They were just stuck on Bowen. It's like, just make it the easy way out and let's just make it happen. But sometimes when I looked at the Webster definition of insanity, it's mental illness that a person cannot distinguish from fantasy into reality. I think that's the true definition here for him. Okay, I'm not happy about it. If we do great, I'll have an apology show. Okay, it's nothing against Shane Bowen, but it just didn't work. And I really think we could have brought some new blood in here to bring these guys up. And Jock, I know you're gonna speak on the Kevin Byard, bro. That's your take on that, because I agree with you. And I just think when I look at the defensive players this year, when I look at Tampa Bay, when I look at Green Bay, right, even Kansas City, when I look at teams that made it far in the playoffs, the defensive guys were all over the field, making plays, all over the field with energy. Yes, they might have better personnel, but personnel and energy that's no correlation. You have energy, rather if you run a 5'2" and you just slow, if you have energy, I see you're trying. I did not see that from our defense this year. Is Shane Bowen going to put them to that next level? That's the question. Can he make them go to the next level? Can he run the right scheme for the personnel that we have? That's what I want to see, Jock. That's how I feel about it, bro.
And go back to your point when you say energy. You know, I'm a big component of energy.
Yep.
That's life. That's in anything. Like if your energy is dope, hey, you're going to energize that next person, right?
Right.
We seen the energy 2 years ago when we made it far in the playoffs and went to the AFC Championship. Our defense was so energized, man. It was amazing to see.
Amazing.
Like you said, the lackluster of this defense we had this past year was trash. I mean, the energy was not there. And Byard, you can tell Byard is frustrated as he feel like he digressed, which he did digress because he's playing out of position. He's playing out of position. He can't be himself. He's trying to play his position and other positions at the same time. They're trying to do too much, and it come back and it bit us, right? And as former football players, you understand when you have a coordinator that is not so great, and you know that he needs to be upgraded. And Hawk can contest to this. I can contest to this. Any former football player that's listening to this show can contest to this. You know when your offensive defense coordinator or tight ends coach or position coach is trash, you be like, okay, bro, we need to make some type of change. Like, it has to happen. Byard indirectly said that. He was like, look, there's no leadership. There's no changes. We don't have no scheme changes. I mean, if you want me to break it down in layman's terms, dude sucks, okay? He sucks. There's no in-game adjustments. What are we doing?
No paper, right? Sir.
Like, where's the in-game adjustments? Now, people will be like, well, we got 6 sacks or 5 sacks against the Ravens. That's the Ravens. Guys, think about it. We have to play high-powered quarterbacks. When we play high-powered quarterbacks, you have to make adjustments when it's that time it comes into play. Now, I've heard people say it's a personnel thing. We don't have no pass rushers. We don't have no pass rushers. Okay, and when in this post or this what we are now, this new normal, right? When you're not going to have a draft. I mean, you're not going to have a combine, excuse me. When you don't have a combine, you're going off a Senior Bowl and pro days. That's scary, okay? You have to look at tape and you have to really evaluate. All right, is any of these pass rushers, listen to me, people, is any of these pass rushers game changers? Can any of these pass rushers take us to the next level? Because we only have $6 million to play with. With $6 million, who can we bring in? They say bring in Judon. Well, Judon wants some money, right?
Facts, no paper.
You can bring in some mediocre cats like the guy from Detroit. His name is slipping my mind. That's a whole nother show that we can get in detail with. But like Shane has his work cut out for him because what you showed, you gave me a preview of what you're going to be like last year when you didn't make in-game adjustments. And this finger pointing that him and Vrabel are doing, right? Especially Vrabel. Hey, it's not me calling the plays. It's all of us. We get in a meeting, we all come up with schemes and get ready for this and that. No, bro. And then at the end of the season, well, you know, it was really Shane who was calling the plays, and he was the one that was really just messing up. Nah, Vrabel, that's a joke, bro. If I was Shane, I would feel offended. I'm like, hold on, bro, you just gonna throw me under the bus like that? Like, really? Like, we doing that. We doing that. So what I look at, and I look at what's been put in place now, people, and I hate to say this, get ready for an offseason that's going to be lackluster at best. Get ready for a draft that's going to be we thought this previous draft was trash. Woo! Get ready.
Yeah.
Get ready because Shane ain't going to have nothing to work with.
Yep.
Can we bring back King? I don't know. Can we bring back JD? I don't know.
No.
Right? So at this point, it's kind of scary to say you're in a mini rebuild. At that point, on defense, you don't have that much turnover on offense. You actually got guys coming back on offense that's going to be pretty good. You just might need a speed receiver here, another tight end here, little pieces. But on defense, the offense is going to have to pick up the defense again.
Yep.
Again.
Yep.
And that's going to get old. And like I said, Todd, he's lucky. He has Henry. He has the pieces for him to be successful, right? Like you said, Hawk, he makes a mistake. I'm not going to get mad at him. I'm like, okay, so he needs to work on this. If I see it in-game adjustment, I know he's trying.
Right.
I didn't see that from Shane last year.
Nope.
I didn't see no in-game adjustment. I think it was like one game that he made in-game adjustments, right? Didn't really make none.
Nope.
So, like I said, energy. You see what I'm saying? Energy.
Yep. Agreed. And then I look at Shane Bowen. I look at, his resume. Before you apply to a job, the employer will be looking at your resume on top of your interview. So Shane Bowen didn't have to interview because he was already in the organization. It's almost as if, you're in the same department. It's just a matter of, you might have to interview a little bit, but he didn't have to do too much. He didn't have to, fly down or, put a suit on. He probably walked into the room with his Titan gear on and say, hey guys, I'm here. Oh, my resume. Oh, I left it at home. I left my resume at home. But you guys know me. Y'all know we cool, right? We cool. Just give me that opportunity. We good. You know what I'm saying? I can even cut you a deal. You ain't got to pay me as much as maybe another coordinator that might, because you had coaches like Raheem Morris out there. You had guys that were available for us, right? And when I look at his history, he was a defensive assistant at the Houston Texans when Mike Vrabel was there, right? And he's just been an outside linebacker coach only over the past year, right, with the Titans. So that's your resume? You've been a defensive assistant?
What is a defensive paper?
Right. What is it? I want to understand it. Like, I'm thinking maybe you're assisting the coordinator maybe? Are you buying lunch for the defensive coordinator? Are you tying his shoes? Or when he drops the clipboard, you help him with it? I mean, I know it's more specified than that. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure it's pretty detailed. But you've been an outside linebacker coach where the outside linebackers got an F on our grade report a few weeks ago, right? The outside linebackers played the worst out of all the defensive positions on the field. Offensive linebacker was terrible last year. Terrible. And now you are defensive coordinator, bro. So Shane Bowen might be one of the greatest one day. We might bite our words on that. Now I can live with that. But I'll just say right now, hey, I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's ready. Now we were 11-5 last year. We're trying to make steps to go to the Super Bowl. We need experience. We need somebody who's going to come in and cuss somebody out when they need to.
Yep.
We need somebody that's going to fire these guys up. I hate to keep bringing up Tampa Bay. And I know Tampa Bay is going to the Super Bowl. A lot of people are talking about Tom Brady and blah, 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 blah. And I give Tom Brady much respect. But Tampa's defense has got them to the Super Bowl. It's their defense. They got guys all over the field. Yes, their front seven is the best in the league when you look at their D linemen and their linebackers. But their DBs are average. But them guys are out there playing out their minds. Because Todd Bowles got them ready. Because Bruce Arians got them ready. Devin White even said what fired him up at halftime is Bruce Arians cussed him out. He said, that fired me up. Do we have that in Tennessee?
Nope.
Go and get that same respect. If he goes up to Malcolm Butler and cusses him out, you don't think Malcolm Butler's gonna do him like he did John Harbaugh? You don't think you think he's gonna do that with Jeffrey Simmons? You don't think Jeffrey Simmons like, all right, bro, I hear you talking that trash, bro. Meet me in the locker room, dog. You think that? But I bet you if Todd Bowles got in their face, they would listen. They would listen. So I might bite my words. I will live with that all day. I will have an apology show. We will have one. We have a balling out defense next year. Hey, I'm wrong. But he's not ready yet. He's not ready, Jacques.
I agree.
You said energy. It's in this cup. They need to drink this, and they're not drinking energy, bro.
It sounds like it's a respect thing. Like at the end of the day, it comes down to respect. Like you said, Derrick Henry and Tannehill said, "Hey, we respect Todd."
Right. That's a fact.
Nah, bro, we don't respect you, bro.
We ain't heard nothing, have we, Jacques? We ain't heard anything.
We ain't heard nothing. We ain't heard, hey, we got your back. We this, we that. Even looking at them, like you said, now that's a trend around the league, man. I feel like teams are just picking up people just to give them jobs. I'm like, who is this dude? I'm like, he was the accountant. Now you don't made him the defense assistant to the assistant to the assistant.
Out of my chair, dude.
Right. I'm like, what? Like the Philadelphia Eagles head coach. Man, right. I don't know if you've seen that interview, but the interview is awful.
Terrible.
I mean, I'm sitting here, look, I'm like, how did he get this job? Yep. I was telling Lorenzo this. I was telling you this. I think it probably was. This is what happens when C-19 comes into effect. Okay. Yep. It has messed up the world. It has messed up the sports world. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's messed up everything to the point where you literally are rushing to do stuff. Remember, a lot of this used to take thought, right?
Facts, no paper, sir.
A lot of this used to take time, and you have to go in there and literally like just, hey, we're gonna take like 2 or 3 weeks to interview this guy, and then this guy, and then this guy. It's being rushed. Everything is being rushed. So a lot of teams are like, you know what, we're gonna promote from within. Or if he has a mediocre interview and we got faith in him, we're gonna get him, right? So I think it's a trend around the league, right? Now you got some people, some assistant coaches out there that deserve head coaching jobs and other positional jobs. But I'm starting to see a lot of former players like D'Amico Ryan. He was the he was a linebackers coach for he was a linebackers coach, I believe.
49ers?
I think it was the 49ers. I
remember when he played with the Texans. You know, he was
Yes. I'm like, why couldn't you bring him in for an interview? Like, I mean, I would take Wesley Woodyard at this point. You know what I mean? Bring him in for an interview. But you literally say, hey, no, we can't do this or we can't do that. We're going to do this from within. Nah, bro, I'm good. So, I mean, it's a wait and see. And I'm with you, Hawk. We will make an apology show if the defense is a top 10 defense next year.
Yep.
Mark our words. We will make an apology. We'll come on here. We apologize. But me and Hawk are process-driven folks, and we see data and we see trends.
Mm-hmm. D'Amico Ryans is the D coordinator now for the 49ers.
See? Boom!
Bring him in, right? Interview him.
That's all you had to do. That's all you had to do was bring him in and interview him. Yep. But this separates the good teams from the great teams. Look at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is building something, guys.
Doing this right now, bro. They did. Jacksonville's building.
People, listen to me. Yep. Get ready. Jacksonville is going to be a problem.
In about 2 or 3 years.
I'm all about culture. And Hawk will tell you this. I'm all about culture. You look at teams that have been successful, they have a culture, right? They have a standard. They have a way of doing things. Jacksonville has never had a culture. They never had a standard. They just out there playing football. right? They just out there picking people up and saying, hey, we're going to do this. They just got Urban Meyer in their building. Man, I'm telling you guys, next 5-6 years, Jacksonville's going to be a problem. Getting Trevor Lawrence. I'm not saying he's going to be come out the gate like firing off the cylinders, but everywhere Urban Meyer goes, he's successful, right? That's where you go and you get a great coach. That's where you go and you get a named coach who's going to come in here and do what you got to do and make this team successful. The problem that I don't want to see with the Titans is I don't want to see the Titans turn into the Houston Texans, where you get Bill O'Brien so much power where he ran that team to the ground and now the team is just in turmoil. I don't want to see that happen to the Titans. And I feel like John Robinson gives Vrabel so much power and he's not being checked. And I don't want to see the Titans go down that path.
Right. Agreed. So, Jacques, I say this, man, speaking on, how I feel about the offensive coordinator, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. I'll live with it. The defensive coordinator, I'm not. And I'm going to stick to that until I see different results. And because I really do think we had an opportunity at this time in the offseason, even if we wasn't ready, just give it time, even if you needed more time to make sure, even after these teams are done with the Super Bowl, are there a possible coordinator on Tampa's defense or Kansas City's defense, right? Even offensive, you look at Tampa Bay's offense and Kansas City's offense, some of the best in the league. It's like, there's so many, positional coaches that might be ready, ready to make that next step. And I don't know if we did our due diligence. I think we settled. And you know what happens in life when you settle at times, right? You sit there and shake your head and wonder, like, you got to look at our defense. We were very poor on defense last year. Guys, let's not play around. Just stop playing. We know our defense was trash last year. Okay, it was. And I'll guarantee you the players know that. They know that. If you look at the numbers, I wish I had the stats in front of me. If you look at the numbers from last year to the year prior as far as the defense, it's a total different story. Totally different. And more importantly, it's a lot of the same players. It ain't that much of a difference in players. Jadeveon Clowney was playing 3 games, so he wasn't even a part of that, right? We had the same players and a whole total different outcome. Dean Pease got the best out of his players, and because we and Jacques feel we don't have a lot of superstars on our defense, and we felt that Dean Pease maximized their opportunity. And to say Dean Pease and his son are now going to be defensive coordinator and an assistant in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
His son?
Wow,
I didn't know that.
As a defensive assistant that Shane Bowen was just 2 years ago, okay? So he's taking his son with him, okay? So, he pried him from Nashville to go to Atlanta.
Right.
And now it's like, okay, we just got to go with Shane Bowen. But either way, man, it is what it is. But
Right.
Yeah, so, well, cool. Well, ladies and gentlemen, y'all, that ends the show, y'all. As always, thank you for tuning in on the show. For anyone in the Nashville area, next week is Super Bowl week, okay? Jacques and I will be doing a Super Bowl live show this coming up week. Our target day is on Friday. Tune in. Yes, we'll talk about the Titans, but we're going to talk about the Super Bowl. We know a lot about Tampa. We know a lot about Kansas City. We're going to get into it. Live show.
Yes.
We'll have a special guest as well, so tune in. It's going to be great. And even on Sunday in the Super Bowl, we're going to be hosting there at Willie B's in Nashville. So if you're in the area, you want to watch the Super Bowl, get you some good food and chill out, come to Willie B's, come see us. We'll be there.
Definitely. Likewise, like Hawk said, hey, special show coming up, special guest. Y'all gonna like the show. Just get ready. I ain't gonna tell y'all who it is, but y'all gonna like it definitely. Like you said, we're gonna be at Willie B's. But hey, like I say every video, man, share the video. Share it to your auntie, your uncle, your dog, your cat. Share it to everybody. Even share it on LinkedIn. Definitely.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And if you want to check us out on Instagram, as always, check us out at Tennessee Titans Weekly, on Twitter at Titans Weekly 24/7, and on email at TennesseeTitansWeekly@gmail.com, folks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you and yours, folks, tighten up. We will see you next week for the Super Bowl.
Tighten up.
Let's get it in, folks. Tighten up. Let's get it.